Hello, you buggers. Scott Groves, well, DMF guitar. Now, does he need another guitar? Well, not really, but hell, it's a promise. I keep my promises. So, to the Banzo Romundo! So they're all cut out. I've placed them all on a they're all on a board. Just a manky bit of chipboard, which I'm going to use. Well, I'll be able to use this to fix it all down and build the mould up from. So these are all in place. I'll pick the ones off the floor. Now, the smarter person might number the back of these and number their positions, just in case you kind of like forget what's what, or the really super smart doesn't. Right, there you go. Pick the bits off the floor. Now there's some pretty fine pieces here. When I say fine, I mean small. There we go. Just like a little jigsaw puzzle. So what I'll be able to do is sculpt these individually, because I want, you know, some nice curves and cuts. If I did it in one piece, it'd be a lot harder to get really nice sharp lines. So that's the process. Now this is where the bridge is going to sit, but I want to lower that about 5mm. I want the sculpt to come up and out past the bridge. It's only 5mm, it's not much. I'm not only sinking the bridge down 5mm. You know, it might even just make a nice little recess for it. First thing I'll do is probably get a bridge plate, sit on there, make sure it's going to fit, and yeah, we'll take it from there. I mean, that does kind of mean that once it's all sculpted, the pickups will probably just be, you know, just a few millimetre above the surface. That should be quite interesting. It should be a problem, should it? I don't think so. This bit's marked out here because eventually, when I make the mould, I want to cast this bit out separately. That's going to be the pick guard, so you can access the pickups a little easier. So I'll mould that separately. Anyway, we'll get to that later. So first thing I'm going to do is hack that down. So that drops back into place. Just there. So there's the bridge plate sitting in there. Now, one of the things you'll probably be saying is, well, that's going to make it really awkward to get to the intonation screws. Well, yes it is, but this will all be rounded off, curved back, so there should be enough access to get in there and sort those out. And especially if this trem is floating up a little bit, you'll have a little bit more of an attack anyway. Won't you? Won't you? I mean, Scott's a big boy. He can work around that. I know he can. Right. So, the only thing left to do now is to start shaping. I started going at it, just using a rasp. You know, that would take loads off, but obviously I don't want to take too much off. I mean, obviously I can build it all back up again if I take off too much. Other things I've got, I've just got an old stick here, broomstick handle, just a bit of 40 grit, which could do with a bit of replacing. This has been well used, but that can work. .40 grit is great for just getting things going. My shed or my workshop is getting full of bloody mosquitoes. They're annoying me. Right, and the other thing you can do is just bit of sandpaper. Now, I'm using this corner of the board here. I'm always making sure that there's some support underneath the foam, because if you just try sanding that off like that, put too much pressure on it, especially on the finer pieces, you are going to snap it, and then you're going to swear a lot. We don't want swearing, do we? Because that would be unprofessional. So even just after a few minutes I've got quite a lot of the shape out, and this is also going to have a bit of a slope on it, so it's have a arm cut away. It's always just checking and thinking. Now I don't need to see a whole video of me just sanding pieces. Sanding videos are the worst, but there's going to be a lot of that. Now I also want to get a nice bit of a shape in here. I'm just going to, how shall I do that? How shall I do that, viewers? Let's just see. I mean, don't look at this and think, oh look, what an expert, I'm just making this up as I go along. Just hacking in with whatever tools I can find. before you grip. Oops. Now, took off a little bit too much there. Now this is, you know, pretty easy. The tricky thing is going to be when you want to start putting the filler over it and getting some of these more defined shapes. That's going to be the tricky bit. I think I've just about done this enough. So it looks like. Ooh. Now I wonder how many times I'm going to be picking those pieces off the floor. There we go, now that's, you know, a bit more in line with the bridge position. So it's all coming together nicely already, even just after one bit. Well, that's part one. I mean, do I need to show you any more me sanding that in a minute? So what I'll do is I will film it. I'm gonna have to go and charge this camera up, but I will film it, and if anything of note turns up while I'm shaping these pieces, I'll let you know. And until then, we'll see you later, you buggers.